guys, it's Kayla.
And I'm Mark Allen.
And this is our channel. Here we talk about all things Disney as well as how to plan your Walt Disney World vacation. And today we are talking about our morning rope drop strategy for Epcot.
So if that interests you, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned.
Okay, so Epcot, as you can tell by our shirts, is what we are talking about today. We are going to give you kind of our rope drop strategy. This is what we like to do. As I've said before, you may do something different, and that's totally fine. But sometimes it helps to hear kind of what other people do if you have never rope dropped before. So that is what we are giving you guys today, as well as we're giving you some of our favorite tips when it comes to rope dropping at Epcot.
The first thing we're going to talk about is actually the main attractions that everyone will rope drop at Epcot. So that consists of Test Track, Frozen Ever After, and Soarin. Those are the three big rides that everyone is going to rush first thing in the morning.
Also, make sure you got your endurance up, because this is the park that it really does test your endurance and agility, because no matter which ride you plan on rushing, it is a hike.
Yeah.
It is a hike to get there.
Depending on what attraction you decide that you're going to rope drop, you have to really be committed, at least right now at Epcot with all the construction walls and stuff that they have up. Right out the gate, you have to kind of either go left or right. It's not, you can't really shoot down the middle and go, there's a lot of people going this way, let's go the other way. You have to commit right now, at least while all the construction is going on. Now, that could potentially change as construction changes. So, if you're wanting to go to the land and do Soarin', obviously you'll go right. If you want to do Test Track, potentially Frozen Ever After, go left. And so you have to really get that decision right out of the gate and be committed to that. Because if you change your mind halfway through, it's going to be a long trek back, and then you're really wasting your time because you won't really be that first person to get on that attraction that morning.
What we usually like to do, we will try to typically get a fast pass for either Test Track or Soarin'. Sometimes we do like to rush Soarin' first thing in the morning, but what we really like to do is actually rush Frozen. It is a little bit of the longer trek, because you have to walk all the way into World Showcase and past several pavilions. But what's really nice about that, if you have maybe some younger ones that like to meet characters, is you can ride Frozen Ever After and then immediately after go meet Anna and Elsa, because they usually are open. Magic hours might be a little bit different, but usually they are going to be open and available for visiting. And so that's a really great way to meet those characters with not a long line. Because I remember we did that at least once. We may have done it twice, but it was immediately, within the first 20 minutes of park opening or whatever it was.
We hardly waited.
We got both of those things done. And then you could even go get some school bread from the Kringla bakery. So it's that's a really nice area if you're wanting to do kind of multiple things all in one area. You kind of got to lose your breath to get there first, but there's a lot to do in that area first thing in the morning.
Yeah. The land is actually very similar to the Norway Pavilion as far as a rope drop aspect, because you can easily go rush Soarin', and then if you wanted to, you could ride the land right after with hardly any people. And we talked a little bit about this in our Magic Kingdom rope drop strategy, so we'll be sure to link that video up above if you missed it. But you can easily get a boat almost completely to yourself on the land if you ride it first thing in the morning. So if you like more of a peaceful, kind of a relaxing morning, that's a great way to start out your morning, is by rushing Soarin', and then you could easily do the land. And then if you wanted to, you could maybe try to snag a reservation at Garden Grill and have some breakfast there.
Or if you aren't able to grab that reservation, you can always eat at Sunshine Seasons too for breakfast.
Yeah.
They have a lot of different options there. Which that I've actually heard is probably one of the best locations in Future World to get breakfast, because it's kind of hard to find in that area of the park. The other reason why I really like to do Soarin' first is, for whatever reason, that ride always gives me like the Epcot feels. There's just something about it with the music and everything that always is just like, oh, we're in Epcot. Like, it gives you that feel. Kind of like when you're at the Magic Kingdom and you see the castle and you do all of that stuff. Like, it's that feeling. And that's one of our favorite things about going to Disney is creating those emotions. And so that's another really good reason why we like to go to Soarin'. It honestly just depends on which one we get a fast pass for as to whether or not we do Frozen or if we do Soarin'. We'll basically just do the opposite. But those are our personal favorites to do for rushing or rope drop, because there is multiple things to do. You can always go rush Test Track, but if you do that, you're going to have to then if you're planning on riding maybe like Mission Space first thing in the morning, cool. But as far as like things to do right there, there's not as many things right immediately like next to it.
Yeah.
So that's just why we like to do the other two if we're gonna rush. The other thing that we like to do if we do Soarin', and you could honestly do this with Frozen too, is we like to explore some of the empty pavilions first thing in the morning. So if we do Soarin', we'll usually go up through like Canada and UK afterwards. And of course, like if it's extra magic hours, well, really if it's the normal park day too, none of the shops or food places or anything are going to be open. But it is a really fun time to walk around those pavilions and there's no people over there. And again, it's a really great opportunity to get like pictures taken or video if you're a vlogger or whatever.
Absolutely.
Or just really like if you just want to let your kids run around and blow off some steam in some where they're not going to be like around a ton of people. That's a really great option. Same thing with if you're going to Frozen, you can kind of backtrack and go the other way and kind of walk around a little bit of like Mexico.
World Showcase technically doesn't actually open until 11. Now, there will be certain things that will be open, certain things will be closed. So most of World Showcase between 9 and 11, you actually won't be able to access. Obviously, the attractions will be open, certain restaurants and dining locations will be, but be sure to check your times guide and park hours, things like that when you are going, because some of these things can be seasonal depending on if there's a festival or if it's a certain high crowd time, anything like that. So be sure to actually check the hours of where you're wanting to go.
And really in those morning hours, those are the best times to really try and get a lot of the rides done in Epcot. I would say like 90% of the rides are in that front part of Future World. Now, obviously, a lot of this is going to change here over the next probably year or so as they're doing all this construction. But as of right now, everything in Future World is mostly rides. And so you do want to try and take advantage those first few hours of the day to try and get as many of those done. That way in the afternoon, you have time to kind of just leisurely go your way through World Showcase and not have to worry about hiking it back on over to Future World for your Fast Pass or for whatever ride that you didn't get to. Because believe me, it is a very long trek.
We've done the thing where we just haven't really planned our Fast Passes out very well, or perhaps we just couldn't get exactly what we were wanting for the times that we wanted. Sometimes that happens when you're planning. You just can't get the times that you're wanting. So we've walked from basically like the back of World Showcase to, a Fast Pass up in Future World. And it's a long hike, you guys. It's especially during the heat of the day, mid-afternoon, that's not a walk that you want to make very often. Obviously, you can always take like the friendship boats and things like that to get more closer, but it's still a long walk.
All right, so those are kind of our main tips. So to kind of recap again, some of our favorites are to either go to Soarin', rush Soarin', ride the land, eat at maybe Sunshine Seasons, or if you have a dining reservation at Garden Grill, and then head on over to maybe World Showcase and do a little bit of that. Or the other option is we like to rush Frozen Ever After, go meet Anna and Elsa, maybe get a treat from Kringla Bakery, and then kind of maybe come back and finish up the rest of those fun rides. If you are looking for breakfast, our top places are going to be, like we said, Kringla, I'm not saying that right, Bakery, Sunshine Seasons, Garden Grill if you have a dining reservation. Leal is down over in France. They have like pastries and like breakfast sandwiches and things. And then obviously there are a few other places for like dining reservations earlier in the day. But those are kind of our big tips for rope dropping Epcot. What tips do you guys have? What are your favorite things to rush? Do you do something different? Let us know down in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you give us a big thumbs up. And of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not already. We do lots of fun Disney content on this channel. And of course, we have more videos in this series. So you want to make sure you don't miss out on those. But other than that, that's all we have for you guys today. Now go create your ever after.